What's going on, weather fans? This is Alex back with the weather. Um, man, I think next week's storm is gonna be something to talk about. And I'm being serious. This storm may be the biggest from all this entire year we've been looking at the weather forecast. I think this storm may be extremely dangerous, significant, and maybe violent. I am looking at this storm right now next week for Friday and into the weekend, and oh boy, am I seeing some crazy stuff on it. We're gonna get into that immediately throughout this video, and we're gonna talk about more stuff, okay? Some updates that we've seen. That tropical system that we were talking about earlier, it looks like it's turning out to sea, okay? But I will warn you, hurricane season is gonna come back, and it's gonna come back badly. Once these fronts start ending the regime of cold air, by the first and second week of September, I'm telling you, tropical season ain't over yet, and I think the eastern U.S. will be in trouble. They will be in trouble for mid and late September. So keep your eyes out on that. And the ice storms. Remember the ice storms. The ice storms do most of the damage. So we got to watch that ice storm real carefully. Okay, that's a lot of words I just put down. But we're going to get into a very active weather pattern next week. This week, just general showers, as you can see. There is a front sliding through New York and Pennsylvania. Might have some stronger storms near the Ohio River Valley, maybe parts of Ohio and western Pennsylvania before they fizzle. Tomorrow, we're going to see a re-intensification of that front, and actually Boston might get some pretty nasty thunderstorms. New Jersey looks like it's dry again. Still continues in a drought. Now, we're going to go into next week, and you can see it is a pretty dry pattern, other than a couple instability thunderstorms on Monday. That could set up anywhere. We'll see what happens. Tuesday, more of the same. Wednesday, more of the same. Now, we're going to get into Thursday, okay? We have a front approaching from the west. This doesn't look overly significant right now. I'm telling you, this is gonna change because we are already seeing a day 8, you heard me right, a day 8 marginal risk for the Northeast, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and Virginia. Day 8 marginal risk on the CSU Colorado State Prediction Center. This is crazy stuff that we have seen today. And unfortunately, I think this might be a really big event. A very significant event. If this pans out. Because the past few mile runs, this has been extremely insane. Front goes through. Okay, this is Friday. And in the morning, you're seeing a couple thunderstorms ahead of that front. Watch what happens on Friday afternoon. Kaboom! It absolutely explodes with energy and instability and just revs up these thunderstorms like crazy once it starts going into New Jersey, New York, eastern Pennsylvania. Holy crap. I mean, some of these thunderstorms will likely be severe at that point. And I think more and more people need to start talking about this front because this is a really strong cold front. This is the type of front where you go from hot and humid and just sweater type weather that it's like air you can wear to sweater weather and literally like lip chapping weather, like such dry air. This is going to be a big front to watch out for next week. I am telling you, next week, by the end of the week, we're watching this monstrosity potentially. And this just sweeps throughout the mid-Atlantic, New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, all across the Northeast. Biggest threat looks like it's literally in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York. That is the biggest threat I'm seeing. You even see some thunderstorms popping ahead of this. So, I'm telling you, we need to watch this really closely. If we take a look at the wind shear profiles especially, you're going to see, okay, right here, let us go into the line from Pennsylvania. Look at this wind shear we're seeing. You see those wind arrows going from the south? They're starting to turn to the west once you go up in height. This means that you're having rotating thunderstorms that are capable of producing tornadic weather. And I think this setup may be it because of this strong cold front. And this reminds me of the 2023 outbreak. We're going into a secondary severe weather season. Our primary is over, but trust me, secondary severe weather season can sometimes overperform big time. And I think that's what we might be seeing this year. Honestly, the summer was garbage in terms of severe weather here. I think that will change once we start getting into mid and late September especially, and also hurricane season and tropical downpours, tropical thunderstorms. That is all going to be on the increase throughout the next days. So I'm telling you, this weather pattern could be big time. So, oh boy. Yeah, we're definitely going to be monitoring that front for the East Coast next Friday. I know it's days away, but a day 8 marginal, this is serious. This is serious stuff right here. And if we go to past model runs, you can literally see the same exact idea. Look at this explosion of severe thunderstorm activity it looks like. I mean, just look at it. Literally everywhere. This is what I'm saying. And then let's go even like 4 runs back. Same idea. This front really gets its act up together, and then look at this, what happens. So I'm telling you, this is a trending monster that we need to watch very closely. I mean, just look at this almost negatively tilted trough that and cold front that just comes through. I'm telling you, New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, and New York, you need to be on your heels for late next week. We might be dealing with a severe weather outbreak. I'm telling you, it can escalate fast. And the fact that we're seeing these early indications, very concerning. Also, it depends on the timing of the front. But I'm telling you, something's going to happen. Something is going to happen. Whether it's in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, wherever, someone is going to get pounded. So, again, what we're talking about, I think severe weather season is on the increase, for sure, by the time we get into mid and late September. So, yeah, that's pretty much my spiel. And then we get past that front, big time cool down. I mean, let's take a look at the anomalies here. You see that warm air right in front of it? This is really going to boost your thunderstorm activity in general. This is kind of like a dry line setup where you have the warm, moist air just transporting all across the East Coast, and then you got these Arctic airs just coming right behind that front. That white line where you see, that's where the front is, and you can see, look at those purples just surging into the Northeast. I mean, this is just brutal air we are talking about, and this sticks around for pretty much days. I mean, just look at that. That is a brutal signal right there. And if you even want to take a look at, let's see, the 250 millibar wind. I mean, just look how much wind and wind shear this thing has. Just incredible. Those arrows that you see going up into the New England coastline, that is all warm air transport. We're going to be likely seeing 80s and 90s spreading up into the coast. I'm telling you, this might be a huge severe weather event for next week. But we'll see what happens. I think this is the big one. And this might be the biggest for the whole entire season we've seen so far. So, eerily similar to 2023, what we saw in New Jersey. It is eerily similar. So, alright. Now, we are going to get into the pattern a little bit more, okay? And actually, we're going to zoom out to the, general U.S. You can just see what's happening. You have these big cold fronts that are coming through, And actually, we get another big cold front probably around the same time. Look at that. Look at this near the Midwest. Look at that. That's just a massive front. And this is also going to cross into eastern U.S. And we even get some thunderstorms here as well. And then the pattern may flip completely. Let's talk about what we're talking here, okay? So, the European, all right, perfect example. You're seeing this big bowling ball trough coming through tomorrow. This will unleash cool air. 70s, maybe even upper 60s. That is going to stick around for pretty much the whole entire weekend. And this starts to weaken a little bit once we get into Tuesday. But it's still there. It's still there. Reinforcement to the south. But watch what happens. You get that little trough in the north near Canada. And watch what happens. This thing combines. And what happens is basically it gets even bigger. And then look at what it hints by the middle of next week. Just a huge bowling ball of cold air just slamming into the central U.S. I mean, just look at this. This is unreal. And then let's go into Friday morning. This thing just starts surging into the east. And then, I mean, just look at these dark blues. Just unbelievable. This is like the darkest color on the Euro. And you're wondering why we're seeing this big severe weather big severe weather setup. This is why. You got a big trough, big time trough. And you got warm surging air ahead of that. And then, boom, this just slams right into the northeast and mid-Atlantic with severe thunderstorms most likely. And then what starts to happen? You got a little bit of ridge to form. But again, what happens is that ridge starts to build up, but you have some ridging. But what you start to notice is after that big front comes through, it looks like something's about to happen. And you even see that little disturbance to your bottom right. That's a tropical system. And this is very concerning because all the United States is going to be in a very flat pattern. And what this is telling me, this is a little bit scary because it's scary because hurricanes like that. And since we're going to get rid of those big cold fronts that are going to come through early September, the pattern is going to completely flip. And hurricane season is about to get a whole lot more wilder. So what we're talking about is the flip of this pattern will be inevitable. And we're going to talk about very warm air, talking about heat waves potentially returning for mid to late September. This pattern will be huge. I'm telling you, next week, we might see a severe weather outbreak, potentially. Just what from we're seeing now. Again, it could change, but it's looking like it's really starting to trend. It's really starting to trend on the Euro, the GFS, every single model we're looking at that far. It's really starting to trend. This is what's concerning. Okay, I understand, it's days away. I know it's days away. But the fact that you have such consistency in these models, same exact timing, same exact place. It's not even further out to the west or east. It's the same exact refiring zone. Right in the dead heart of the tri-state area. New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. That is your best area to see some big-time thunderstorms next week. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys later. We might talk about a little bit more about the tropics as well. Definitely about that big cold front. We're going to have to talk about that seriously. That is looking beastly. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.